6th special meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Wappinger. May Town Clerk Paoloni please call the roll.
Councilman Beal.
Here.
Councilwoman Bettina.
Here.
Councilman Phillips. Councilman Costello.
Here.
Supervisor Cavaccini.
Here. In just a moment, we'll invite you to join us for standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. That'll be followed by a moment of silent meditation in memory of former Deputy Town Clerk Peggy Rowe, who was a dedicated member of this community and a dear friend to many of us, and also served for an extended period of time in our recreation department. So please keep her and her husband Bernie in your thoughts and prayers. But please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Folks, tonight we will be presenting the Supervisor's tentative budget to the Town Board. It's a rather ceremonial meeting in which the Town Clerk will deliver the budget documents to the council members. But as we did last year, we will also deliver a brief budget address, which will give a brief summary and synopsis into what we are looking at, how we got to this point, and all of the positive things that we have planned for 2026 here in the great town of Wappinger. I would also like to acknowledge and thank for joining us here today our Town Comptroller, Daniel Tucker, who definitely jumped headfirst when we brought him in at the beginning of the year and has been a great partner through this budget process. So Dan and I will be giving a brief presentation to the public and to the Town Board tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, per New York State Town Law 103, I am pleased to present this Town Supervisor's tentative budget for the fiscal year 2026. This document represents a sound and balanced financial plan for the town of Wappinger as we enter into yet another exciting year for this community. Once again, this budget that has been crafted under the New York State tax levy cap, while also achieving a tax rate decrease. From the outset of this administration, we have made accountability a cornerstone of everything that we do here in Town Hall. Our 2026 tentative budget is a prime example, yet again, of that commitment. It is a sound and balanced plan that reduces this tax rate and has been a continuation of our disciplined approach. Examining realistic expenses and revenues, planning strategically for our future through capital projects, and providing meaningful tax relief when people need it the most. Our adopted 2025 budget proved to be very accurate and very dependable, offering a tax decrease for our residents this year. And this year's tentative budget builds upon that foundation with further refinement and further clarity. I am proud to report once again that the state of the town of Wappinger is in excellent financial condition, strengthened further by internal policies and procedures implemented throughout my first term in office. These measures have enabled us to develop a clear, accurate understanding of both revenues and expenditure. This administration and this town board has undertaken the largest public works improvement project in this town's history. With brand new initiatives and improvements to our parks and recreation, our facilities for our residents to use, improved water and sewer facilities that are safe, a safer highway department, and an emphasis on public safety, all of which enhance and improve your quality of life. We continue to be innovative when reducing the burden on taxpayers by generating alternate revenues. This includes the opening of the brand-new chapel at Carnwath Farms Historic Site and Park and the brand-new live performance stage at Brexel Schlotthaus Park as event venues. And if you've seen the past 5 weekends, both parks have been packed and rented. The town board also purchased a roll-off truck for the recycle center, which eliminates the $300,000 shortfall it ran every year by operating the town's refuse in-house and diversifying our funds, continuing to do this in high-interest earning depositories. These measures have enabled us to significantly reduce the potential impact on our property taxpayers, requiring that our $9,216,325.16 of our total $21,359,768.06 budget. So out of that, only $9.2 million is levied onto property taxpayers. We alleviated that substantial burden yet again from not placing the $21 million budget onto property taxpayers. Through this careful planning, we have successfully crafted this year's supervisor's tentative budget that once again reduces town taxes through a town tax rate decrease and staying under the New York State tax levy cap at 1.82%. Taxpayers will find that the newly forecasted town outside village homestead rate is now at $1.48 per thousand, and that has decreased from $1.59 per thousand of assessed value. And the village portion of the homestead rate will be decreased to 62 cents per thousand. Non-homestead rates are as follows, that is $2.89 per thousand, and the town outside non-homestead is $1.21 per thousand. All forecasts are decreases in our tax rate. This budget not only meets all of our contractual obligations, but also all of our anticipated increases, such as insurance, utilities, materials, and costs of living. We share the same costs as you. But we are expanding our town's vital services through this document. We are proud to announce that through this proposed budget, the launch of brand new online building permit software technology, which will allow our residents to obtain a building permit and pay for it online. New cellular reading technology to provide our residents with real-time water reading access for those in the United Wappinger Water District. We are also implementing short-term rental management software to better accommodate those who have these properties, as well as manage those that are operating illegally in our town. We are also proud of a 28% increase in programming to our senior enrichment activities. We are committed to our aging population, and it is a growing population, and the funds set forth in this budget will accommodate them. It will grow our program, and we are so excited to see everything that is happening from our new location at Brexel Schlotthaus Park as a second location, the grant funding that we received to renovate this senior center, as well as the many other programs, trips, and other activities for our senior residents. We have also implemented through this budget a 5-year capital plan for our Buildings and Grounds Department. Our Highway Department, we fully rebuilt that department over the past couple years, from its building to its fleet, and now we are moving on to our Buildings and Grounds to ensure that our parks and facilities have the tools and the equipment necessary to do the job and to service our residents. Within that 5-year capital plan, this is obviously the first year, we are anticipating 2 new trucks and a mower in that plan. We are also continuing our town's commitment to law enforcement and our targeted patrols of our town to crack down on speeding. We are also projecting the paving of 7 miles of town road in 2026. Additionally, as you all know, that this was our town's 150th anniversary. But as we enter 2026, we are celebrating our country's 250th anniversary through America 250. This budget set aside allocated funds to celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary, only like the town of Wappinger can, but with a beautiful celebration. We are looking forward to that. Folks, these are just a few of the many highlights, few of the many impacts that we are going to be offering to the community through this town supervisor's tentative budget. Through these efforts, we have preserved Wappinger's status, yet again, as the most affordable town in Dutchess County. It's important to remember that when you pay your property taxes, only 8%, or 8 cents of every dollar, goes to this town government. That's it. So as everyone is coming in here and paying their school tax bill, we feel that burden too. But none of that is shared with the town of Wappinger. And as you keep that in mind, we work extremely hard as a team to ensure that your tax dollars stretch as far as possible to offer you the services, the programs, and the facilities that you deserve. As I said in the State of the Town address, we feel very strongly that fiscal responsibility equals affordability. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to discussing this budget further, especially with my colleagues on the town board and all of our neighbors as we continue to move forward to enhance our quality of life. That is what everything that we do in this town hall is focused around. Together, we can continue to build a stronger and more vibrant community for our residents. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to invite up our town comptroller, Daniel Tucker, and we are going to run through a brief presentation on the budget.
Good evening, Councilman. I think the presentation and a lot of what I have to say will simply iterate what Supervisor Cavaccini has said already. But I'm very happy and proud of the tentative budget that we put together for the town, and I'll look forward to hearing your questions as you get a chance to go through the details. But I am committed with Supervisor Cavaccini at keeping the budget realistic and also helping it stay transparent. I believe the board is supportive of it, and Supervisor Cavaccini was as well, for a 5-year capital plan, which helps reflect the difference in the operating budget versus some of the larger purchases, for example, the equipment that's included in the budget for the Buildings and Grounds Department. So I'll just read the budget goal right off the slide here, is to keep the tax levy as low as possible while still providing high-quality municipal services in the most effective manner. And continuing to make realistic adjustments to the budget, we will continue to reinvest in the town's long-term infrastructure, meet our contractual obligations, and expand services. This graphic here it makes it easier to understand what Supervisor Cavaccini referenced as far as the total picture of any resident's property taxes. Many communities are this way, where the school district is by far the largest percent, and then for our conversation today, you can see the town is 8%. So the entire dollar is 100%, and the town is a little sliver second from the right. This table, and I'm assuming the PowerPoint will be available publicly after tonight, so you can go to follow the numbers. But here you can see the total expenditures of the townwide budget is just over $21 million, but only $9.2 million are property taxes. And then the table here has the difference between the homestead tax rate and the non-homestead tax rate, and I won't go through all of the exact numbers as the supervisor did. This table is really helpful because when we talk a lot about the tax cap, we talk about the cap or the tax levy for the entire town. But what that means is that of the different funds that the town manages, some can go up and some can go down. So this table breaks it down by the general fund, which is showing a 3.76% increase in the tax levy. You can see the DB fund, or the highway fund, has a 0% change in the tax levy. The water fund overall is going down by just under 11%. And then the sewer district, or the sewer fund, is increasing by 2.35%, and then the lighting district, or the lighting fund, has a 0% change in the tax levy. This slide and the next few slides just highlight some of the larger or more significant changes that the supervisor already touched on. I think one of the most significant would be the recycle center. Historically, the town was paying a third party to take care of some of the refuse. And now that the town has been able to in-house that service, we're conservatively projecting savings for the town, but I think that it's likely that it will even see bigger savings based on some of the pro forma information. We're also continuing some of the expansion for recreation. As Supervisor Cavaccini said, there's a 28% increase in the senior center budget, which I'm also looking forward to. It's really wonderful that the town has the senior center is open all week, every week, as opposed to one day a week, which is excellent. Similarly, the increase or changes are just related to contractual. For example, the ambulance contract, or emergency services contract the town has had contractual increases. Our engineering, we have our engineering firm that we have on a retainer, and that also includes, there's some increases that as well. So for the B fund, that's the section of the town not inside the village. This includes a lot of the parks and recreation changes, our buildings and grounds, which we're developing, and also we need to keep the buildings and grounds department well funded, of course, for all of the work that's being done. This includes the town patrol, the America 250 celebration, and then insurance increases. The DB fund is highway, and then the highlight of some of the changes here just for our personnel through our union contracts, the medical insurance, and capital improvements. I'm sure the board has discussed at length, for example, the highway garage project, and that's really good. Of course, we have two great mechanics that have been taking excellent care of the highway equipment. The water and sewer districts, a lot of their operation is managed by a vendor named Camo Pollution Control. They provide a budget, and we have an excellent working relationship with them as well, managing the costs and making sure that the town residents in these districts are receiving good services. That's it.
Again, to recap, folks, this budget is fiscally sound, it's balanced, and again, we are very proud to once again offer a tax rate decrease and once again stay under the New York State tax levy cap. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Are there any further comments come from the town board?
Certainly, thank you to the supervisor for presenting a sound tentative budget, which obviously, as you explained, continues our mission as a team to improve services and expand programs. You know, the town of Wappinger maintains the lowest town taxes per capita in Dutchess County, as you mentioned, and that is just not by chance. This town has worked for many years to establish the strong fiscal footing that we stand on here today, and we continue to expand the services and programs thanks to innovative approaches by our supervisor and by our respective board members who represent each ward. And these responsible fiscal strategies and grant funding that is leveraged results in this type of success that we're seeing. It is worth noting that this town has been under the tax cap since its inception, which was effective in 2012. So for 14 years in a row, this town has remained under the tax cap. And there are not many towns that, not many municipalities that can say that. This is certainly a result of hard work and determination and fiscal responsibility. The tax rates that you mentioned are lower than any municipality in southern Dutchess County. I would compare them with respect to population and services to any municipality in Dutchess County. However, there are certain rural towns that have different needs. They're not homestead, homestead, non-homestead, so it's not fair to compare in some respects. But with respect to public safety, as you mentioned, the expansion of law enforcement into our schools here, which is a partnership between the school district and the town of Wappinger, is another innovative approach, ensuring public safety in our schools. Our volunteer fire departments save our taxpayers millions of dollars. We are lucky to have volunteer firefighters in this town of almost 30,000 people responding to calls every day and making a difference at a minimal cost to taxpayers. Our emergency medical services are viewed by many in Dutchess County as a model with respect to advanced life support and basic life support resources here in our town. These programs and these services have really set the tone for many municipalities across this county. And I thank you for articulating where we stand as a town as we continue to move forward. The stage looks great, which was paid for with ARPA money, which is federal grant funding that we were able to leverage for the purposes of bringing folks together since it was provided to this municipality as a result of COVID. We discussed the dance floor earlier today, the supervisor and I, as that is coming to fruition. It's bigger than I thought, but that's going to complement the structure itself. And our position has been to invest in that park using funds that otherwise we would have lost. And we're using that money to bring the community together, and looking at the events that have been held there over the last number of weeks, the community is certainly coming together at that location. So, Supervisor, I thank you for your hard work on this. I also thank our newly appointed, I guess, when did he start now?
April.
Okay, so I guess not that new, but...
He's relatively new, but he's jumped headfirst in, and he's done a fantastic job.
You've done a great job coming from a village, I believe?
Yes.
Or, right? So
Village of Croton.
A little bit different, right? Coming into a town now with some differences with respect to accounting standards and the funds, and I really appreciate the fact that you were able to adapt so quickly to this. You know, towns can be a little more challenging than villages and cities, because villages and cities traditionally have one bucket, basically, whereas towns are statutorily segregated with respect to special districts, and every fund has to be autonomous to a certain respect. So I thank you for your hard work.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further comments?
I look forward to working with this board as we go through this budget and going through it in all cases, that we do the best thing for the constituents of this town.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
So, budget, from what I've heard, and again, I want to go to the devil's in the details, but everything you said tonight sounds extremely fair, balanced, and it's going to serve the residents very well. We stayed below the 2% tax cap, 1.86% last time, 1.82%. Again, that's phenomenal. Basically, what we're here to do is improve the quality of life of our residents, and that's what this budget does. Looking at doing more work in-house versus, vendoring it out, and that saved us a ton of money. So as an example, the dance floor that you see here, we saved some money from the ARPA funds that we had, and some of that money we're able to do and pay for the dance floor rather than having to go into either Parkland Trust or something else. So that's very good too. I'm looking for specific projects because I'm very recreational oriented, if you haven't noticed that. But I also want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the residents, and with the improvements we're doing in the senior center, just along with the $75,000 grant, but a lot of the other things we're looking to do, that's going to be an amazing thing. Got the building over at Schlatt House Park that we're redoing the entire building. Again, that's going to be something else that is going to be, very good for the community and for the seniors. And so those are the kind of things that we need to do. I like the fact that we've been talking about doing a capital project plan 3 to 5 years. Councilman Beal and I have been talking about this for a number of years now, and it's good to see that we're actually planning for it, because you want to know, you don't want to find out on the spot that you have to buy a new $250,000, $300,000 truck. You want to know that in advance, that, hey, listen, I've got 2 years, 3 years worth of life cycle left, and I'm going to need to do this. So I want to start planning for it. Again, I know some of that's planned for. If you look at buildings and grounds, the supervisor talked about that a little bit. We are going to have to do some significant improvements, number of trucks and vehicles and things. But again, that's a good thing, because that's something we haven't done in 20-plus years.
Yes.
So we really need to do that. And again, we want to try to do as much in-house as we can, because that's where we save our tax dollars. Some of the money we did over at Castle Point, they did the pavilion over there. So again, that's one of the ways we were able to use this money to pay for the dance floor. I like the fact that, you've got the expansion of law enforcement. I think that's great. As you know, we've had a lot of issues recently with speeders. We've had the speed trackers out there. We had somebody do 97 miles an hour on Brothers Road, which is crazy. But we're out there and doing those kind of things. And, this is the kind of budget, again, 1.82% is excellent. Again, it stays within the capital projects here. And again, what I want to do is I just want to make sure, again, looking at contracts, everything else, unions, all that stuff, we're all good. But from what I can see now, and again, if there's changes, it'll probably be minor changes, but again, it sounds, phenomenal. I thank you for all your hard work, Dan. I want to thank you for all your hard work. I know I ask you a lot of questions. I'm there all the time asking you about different things. So again, it sounds like it's very good. And again, I like to see we're going to be paving 7 miles of road, because we've been doing that. And actually, if you look at other towns, they do anywhere between 2 to 3 miles. So again, we're 2x plus what they pave. So again, it's to the fiscal responsibility of this board here that's actually making this something we're able to do. And so again, I applaud the report, the preliminary tentative budget. I look forward to working with you on this stuff. And again, great job, Dan and Joey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
Hey, Councilman, I did happen to see an increase in pickleball funding, so you should be good.
I don't know about that. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes the budget presentation and this special meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Beal, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.